In this video, I'm going to show you guys how you set up a wireless lav mic for your Nikon camera or any camera or entry-level DSLR for all your audio needs. I'm going to show you how I set up my RodeLink lavalier wireless mic system that's connected to my Nikon D5200. So when it comes to any lavalier system, people often think that Nikon cameras, you can't import or use external audio output source. But contrary to popular belief, the Nikon, even the D5200 line, which is considered an entry-level model, does have an external mic output. But there is, you can't really monitor the audio, but there is an external output, so then you can put a wireless lav setup for your Nikon camera. So when it comes to having any kind of wireless system, you need to know the basics of how it actually works. So when it comes to having lavalier microphones, it's really not really dependent on the camera. As long as the camera has an external audio output, then all you need to worry about is you need to have some sort of transmitter and a receiver. This is the RodeLink receiver, and this over here is the RodeLink transmitter. And all you essentially do is, this is a lav mic and it's connected into the transmitter. And essentially all the audio that comes from here is being transmitted into the receiver here. So essentially you're going from source of audio A, going to the receiver B, and then there's this output cable. This output cable is then going into the internal mic input into the camera's body. So for my Nikon, for example, that whatever audio that's going through the lav mic goes all the way into the transmitter, gets transmitted into the receiver, and then the receiver is being recorded, any of the audio, into my Nikon camera. And for more of more in-depth or more detail is that for my Nikon camera, I hit movie, go to movie settings, and I like to, for this RodeLink lav system, I like to put my microphone levels at 6 sensitivity, as you want to rely on within your own camera, your recording system's gain instead of the camera gain. You never want to rely, especially on a Nikon camera, with Nikon level gains. They're just not that good, to be honest. So now that you know how the basics of how a wireless lav system works, where you have a transmitter and receiver, next thing you want to do is you want to have it synced up. Depending on your, I would say, your lav system, some lav wireless systems have specific channels where you need to change the channel to have it match within a certain frequency, because these wireless lav systems can also interfere with other people's radio system. So essentially what you're doing is you're transferring Wi-Fi information from there to there into the camera. So first thing you do, if you have a RodeLink, it automatically syncs it up. So you turn on your receiver, you go to your transmitter, turn that on, and as you see by the 1, that means it's on channel 1 and it's on. And you see now, you'll also see a leveler. So if this works properly, every time I talk into the mic here, all the audio from this mic here is getting transmitted into the receiver here, going through this cable into the camera, and the camera is actually recording whatever it is that, as you can see. And as you can see here, if I press this button here, you can actually see that I'm actually talking through the lav mic and it's actually being recorded. And to make sure that you're actually recording on the camera, you turn your camera on, and now your camera system should detect that there is audio going into the camera and it is being recorded. Now that you've understood the basics of how to set up a lavalier mic, then what you essentially need to do is understand how the lavalier kind of loops up. So essentially what you need to do is the mic itself will come into one single line and it'll be like kind of tangled. So what you want to do is you want to take that, there's going to be a little pin here. You push the pin and you put the lav mic through the pin. And most mics come like this. And this is essentially what you would say a pop filter. So you put that pop filter, first you want to put the lav mic through the little loop, through the clip itself. Then you want to put the pop filter onto the mic to prevent any rustling or kind of sounds when you want to record videos. And then now your lav mic should look like going through a little loop like that. Now that's going through the loop, what you need to do after is you need to loop it so then there's also a clip on top. Because right now, as you can see, the lav mic is just kind of like dangling there. So what you want to do is you want to loop it through the little pin and then have it loop back again, and there's gonna be this little indent that you can place the wire through. And then you want to just push, don't be afraid, and just push the lav wire into there. And also helps if you have like a coin or something, but it will loop like that. So now, as you can see here, it goes through the clip, the lav mic, and then it goes into the little indent. So now you have a little suspension system where if the mic suddenly moves here, that it's not going to completely pick up the audio that from all the rustling of the wire. Instead, there's a little shock kind of mechanism that you've made. Now your lav is all ready to clip on, and essentially how all lav mics work is that you just put on the lapel or collar of your subject, or if you want to get really fancy, is that you don't need this clip and you just put pieces of tape. For interviews, you can put it right here, usually right underneath their throat, hidden or concealed underneath their t-shirt or shirt. And that is how I set up my wireless lav for all my YouTube videos as well as professional videos. And the best position to put your lav mic is usually not directly right under, but usually to the left or right, because your chin does block out the noise. So you're better off putting your lav mic slightly to the left or slightly to the right, as you will notice this a lot on TV, where they will not put the mic directly underneath your subject. So this is a decent place, or you could put it here instead. So when it comes to setting up wireless lavs mic, it is pretty easy to understand once you actually purchase a wireless lav mic setup for your entry DSLR. Why would you need a lav mic system? Because one, you want to be able to move freely, and knowing that your audio source is constantly within the same kind of audio levels without using something like a shotgun. For example, if I use a shotgun mic, then the farther I moved away, then the less you're able to hear me. Where if I'm using a lav mic, if I move left, if I move right, if I'm completely out of frame, the sound is always going to be same because the recording is right here instead of on top of the microphone. And when it comes to wireless lav systems, especially for entry-level DSLR users, it can get intimidating. But once you buy and purchase your first wireless lav system, then you are able to understand how audio equipment works, and you too can now record audio without worrying about, oh no, my subject talent or whoever is too far away or this and that. You essentially level up your videos where you constantly have decent or above average audio because the source doesn't really change. And my name is Peter, you're watching Broke Visionary Collective, and that is how I set up my wireless lav system for my Nikon D5200. You're watching Broke Visionary Collective. We all start with nothing, but you can always create something.